In the far reaches of the Yukon wilderness, where the summers are short, the ground is frozen, and the gold is buried deep, three men are locked in a race they cannot afford to lose. Rick Ness came to Valhalla 2 seasons ago with nothing but a lease, a dream, and a mountain of debt. He has torn this ground apart, scraped it, flooded it, blasted it, chasing a seam of gold that has always been just beyond his reach. Tony Beets made a promise at the start of this season. 6,500 ounces, a number so large it would make most men flinch. Tony Beets did not flinch, and Parker Schnabel, barely 30 years old and already running one of the most ambitious operations in Klondike history, is pushing the Golden Mile harder than anyone thought possible. But the Golden Mile is bigger than one man, and Parker knows it. Today, in the Yukon, everything changes. At the Valhalla claim, the morning shift is already underway. The wash plant churns. The sluice box runs full. It is a morning like every other morning, until it isn't. Rick Ness is at the base of the plant when he sees it. Gold. Not specks. Not color. Real gold. Heavy. Raw. Coming up from the very bottom of the box. His hands stop moving. His voice drops to almost nothing. He shuts the plant down. In gold mining, what lives at the bottom of the sluice box tells you everything about what's happening underground. And what Valhalla's bottom is saying right now stops Rick cold, because it means the richest layer of pay dirt has been sitting one cut below where his dozers have been running all season long. He has been mining over the top of a fortune. For 2 full seasons, Rick Ness has moved mountains, literally. He has scraped this ground down to what he believed was bedrock. He ran his numbers. He trusted his read. And he was wrong, not because the gold wasn't there, but because it was deeper. Always one layer deeper. Waiting. Now he has a choice. He can lock in the season he has, bank the ounces already in the box and call it a year. Or he can do the thing that terrifies every miner who has ever stood on the edge of a cut and looked down into the unknown. He can go back in. Rick gives the order. The dozers swing around. In the hours that follow, his crew tears back 3 full days of progress, stripping the recut face down to the level where the gold is showing. It is an act of pure belief, pure stubbornness. The Yukon weather does not care. The calendar does not care. But Rick Ness has looked into the bottom of that sluice box, and he knows what he saw. And a man who knows what he saw does not walk away. 60 miles from Valhalla, at Paradise Hill, Tony Beets has not left his mine site in 18 hours. This is not unusual. This is Tuesday. Tony Beets has been mining the Klondike for more than 30 years. He has seen booms. He has seen busts. He has seen men arrive full of fire and leave with nothing. He has stayed. He has built. And this season, he has set himself a number that even his own crew thought was audacious, 6,500 ounces of gold. At last count, Tony is sitting at just over 5,000. More than 1,500 ounces short. The nights are getting colder. The season is getting shorter. And Tony Beets is getting louder. The solution, as far as Tony is concerned, is simple. Run harder. Run longer. Run through the night if you have to. Equipment breaks down. Fix it and keep going. Weather turns. Put the lights on. Calendar says you're running out of time. The calendar is wrong. There is something almost elemental about the way Tony Beets operates. He does not negotiate with the earth. He does not negotiate with the weather. He does not negotiate with doubt. He simply moves forward. Always forward. Because in 30 years of mining the Klondike, Tony has learned the one truth that separates the men who hit their numbers from the men who don't. You stop when you're done. Not before. The floodlights blaze on at Paradise Hill as the sun goes down. The machines don't stop. The cleanup crews rotate in. Tony moves from station to station, checking, pushing, calculating. Every ounce logged is 1 ounce closer. Every ton of gravel through the plant is another step toward 6,500. Tony Beets is not chasing a record. He is collecting on a promise he made to himself. And in the Klondike, that is the only kind of promise that matters. The Golden Mile is exactly what its name suggests, a sweeping, massive stretch of Klondike ground that promises extraordinary wealth to anyone willing to work it hard enough and smart enough. Parker Schnabel has both. But even Parker cannot be in 2 places at once. The Golden Mile demands more than a single crew can deliver. To hit the kind of numbers Parker is targeting this season, he needs to open a second front, a parallel cut running on the eastern bench while the main face pushes forward. It is a bold plan. It requires bold execution. And it requires someone Parker trusts completely to run it. That someone is Brennan. Brennan has been part of Parker's operation long enough to know the ground, know the machines, and know what it means when Parker looks you in the eye and tells you a section is yours. It means everything is riding on you. No safety net. No second guessing from the boss. Just a claim, a machine, and your own judgment. Parker walks Brennan through the section, the cut line, the access route, the geology, the targets. He does not linger. Parker Schnabel is not a man who wastes words when the ground is waiting. He gives Brennan the information he needs, puts his hand on his shoulder, and walks away. What Brennan does next is entirely up to Brennan. For a moment, he stands alone on the eastern bench of the Golden Mile and looks at the ground ground the way a miner looks at ground, reading it, feeling it, asking it the questions only experience can form. Then he climbs into his excavator, fires it up, and gets to work. Across the claim, two machines now tear at the earth in parallel, two cuts driving deeper, two bets placed on the same fundamental belief that somewhere beneath this ground, there is enough gold to make all of it worth it. Parker watches from the main face. He does not micromanage. He does not second guess, because the truth is, Parker Schnabel did not build one of the most successful young mining operations in the Klondike by doing everything himself. He built it by knowing when to trust the people around him. And right now, he is trusting Brennan with a piece of ground that could define the season. Back at Valhalla, the recut face is ready. The fresh earth gleams in the late afternoon light, raw and exposed and full of promise. Ness has his crew back on the plant. The water is running. The sluice is live. And now, finally, they will find out if Rick was right. This is the moment every gold miner lives for and dreads in equal measure. Because all the reading of the ground, all the years of experience, all the stubbornness and sacrifice, it all comes down to what is sitting in the bottom of the box when the plant shuts off. The plant runs. The crew watches. Rick does not move from the edge of the sluice. He is still, quiet, listening to the sound of water and gravel and the particular hum a wash plant makes when it is working hard. Then, a shout from the box man. Rick moves fast. He gets to the end of the sluice and he looks down at the riffles and what he sees stops him where he stands. The box is loaded, heavy, dark, dense with black sand, and running through all of it, catching the light in the way that gold catches light and nothing else does, pay dirt. Real pay dirt. More than he has seen in a single run all season. Ness was right about Valhalla. He was right about the layer, right about the depth, right to tear back 3 days of work and bet the tail end of his season on a read of the earth that no one else could see. The ground that drove him to the edge of doubt and debt and exhaustion has finally, at long last, given him what he came for. The crew runs the plant through the night. Nobody goes home. Nobody suggests stopping. Because in gold mining, when the ground gives you a moment like this, you run it until it's done. 3 men, 3 claims, 3 seasons that will be won or lost in the days and weeks still ahead. At Valhalla, Ness has found the gold he came for, buried deeper than he imagined, more valuable than he dared to hope. The night shift runs on. The gold box fills. And Ness, for the first time in 2 seasons, allows himself to believe that Valhalla was worth it. At Paradise Hill, Tony Beets runs his machines through the dark. The gap to 6,500 is closing, ton by ton, ounce by ounce, the way Tony Beets has always done it, without apology, without pause, without doubt. And on the eastern bench of the Golden Mile, Brennan is ahead of schedule. The cut is deeper than projected. The ground is reading well. And somewhere across the claim, Parker Schnabel allows himself a small, quiet smile. The Klondike does not reward luck. It rewards the ones who read the ground when everyone else has given up. The ones who run the night shift when their body says stop. The ones who hand over a section of ground to someone they trust, and trust them completely. The season is not over. The clock is still running. And out here, in the last wild corner of North America where a man can still pull gold out of the earth with his own hands, that is all that matters.